You are there already, ma. And now you have to.
Yes, good evening. For those of you that have joined us on Facebook, within the next 1 hour on the Naija Voices, and also we're just about to connect straight onto the studio line where we're going to be also transmitting live from the STARR Radio UK. So continue to share the page. Also continue to invite friends and family as well onto the onto the page. Once again, my name is Olayomi Koiki, coming live to you all the way from Lagos, where we're going to be speaking with the Welfare Party executives to tell us what they have, for the Nigerians, and also we're going to, have a good time. So, but make sure you join us and stay tuned with us for the next 1 hour. Okay, let's now get a signal straight from UK. Okay. All right, so we're going live now. Hello, good evening, and welcome again to another edition, a special edition coming all the way from Lagos, Nigeria, on your Naija Voices, your finest Afro-Caribbean radio station on STARR Radio, where we're going to be taking you for the next 1 hour precisely, looking at the Welfare Party of Nigeria that we actually, for those of you that are with us on iTunes, and also, firstly, we'd like to say Eka Aleo and welcome again to Naija Voices, coming to you live on STARR Radio UK, your finest Afro-Caribbean radio station. And I would like to say Ututu Oma to all our Igbos from the northern part of the country, both inside and outside the country. We'd like to say to you, Ututu Oma. We would also like to say Baka de Yama to everyone from the northern part of the country. And I'm sure this is going to be a very beautiful show for the next 1 hour, where we're going to be looking at, what are the challenges, also, what are the expectations. The election is just under 500 days away, and also, as you know, a lot is happening. We've been in the country in the last 4 weeks, and we've been giving you as much of daily update, coming into Nigeria. We've also been giving you report of the news, the politics, the economy. We were at the Alimosho local government, where we're also going to be coming to you live now, and we were talking to average Nigeria what their feelings are, in terms of, the midterm score of the government. But right now, some of you will probably be watching us live on Facebook. We'd like to say to you, welcome again to this very special edition, of Naija Voices, where we are also bringing it live to you on TuneIn. For those of you that might want to follow us, maybe you're in your car, or you're probably just making your way home from work. But I'm sure everyone will have a very good time. To my right-hand side, we've got the national chairman of the Welfare Party of Nigeria, Honorable Oyeleke Dan Bolaji. Good evening and welcome to this very special edition of Naija Voices. We know we had an interview with you while we were in London, but it's always good as well, to see you and be able to see more of interaction with you. If you'd like to say a very good evening to all the listeners that are listening all over the world.
Thank you very much, my wonderful Mr. Olayomi Koiki. It's great being here again. The last time we had this opportunity, it was great. And I am happy that we are having this opportunity once again. Once again, I say good evening.
Thank you very much. And sitting next to the national chairman is himself, Honorable Stanley Ezekiel. Thank you very much for joining us on this very special edition of Naija Voices. If you would like to say good evening to all our listeners all over the world.
Good evening, all our listeners. You're all welcome to this great interview. Listening to this interview. God bless you as you listen.
Thank you very much, Mr. Stanley Ezekiel, who is the National Chairman, the National Secretary of Welfare Party of Nigeria. And then sitting next to Mr. Ezekiel is a very beautiful, and speaking to sitting next to Mrs. Helen is the Honorable Mrs. Mercy Bassey, the national women leader. There will always be the women leader. You know, we need a lot of women, you know, to take charge of so many things, because women have been told have the drive, you know, to do things better. So if you would like to say a very good evening to all our listeners, you know, I've said it so many times, the technology and the network is always the biggest problem, but we are doing everything possible tonight to make sure that, you know, we continue to get the message across. And I'm very positively sure that, you know, those that are watching us, you can also make sure you leave your comment as well on the comment box. But before we go straight into the reason why we're here tonight, firstly, you know, Mr. Chairman, how did the name Welfare Party, you know, why Welfare Party, you know, of Nigeria? Why not a different name?
Well, thank you so very much. As we all know, Nigeria is a very big country. We have over 180 million Nigerians spread across the globe. And when we talk about political parties, since independence in 1960, October level, from the highest social level, social strata, to the lowest, to the common man. And that is why the word welfare, I want to say, let me use the word divinely, was divinely given. And today, we really realize the need and the importance for us to use this name welfare. Because welfare basically touches lives. Welfare basically is that which every Nigerian really needed to what? To work along with, to be part of, and that is why the word Welfare Party of Nigeria. Talking about Nigerian unity, down to the welfare of the common man. Essence of democracy is to what? Is to take care of every Nigerian. And that is what is amiss in Nigeria today. And we pray that God helping us, Welfare Party will be able to live up to the name.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for, you know, giving us a background of the, you know, of the party itself. And I hope those that you know, we might probably switch a little bit in the network, because you know, it looks like I'm watching us on Facebook network, you know, which is part of what, you know, we're looking at as well. That's what we're going to be talking as well with the, you know, with the executives of the Welfare Party of Nigeria. Okay, it looks like we're still good with the iTunes. We know the signal is always the biggest problem, but we've done everything, you know, to make sure that we will be able to be heard, you know, properly. Yes, we're still good with the signal, because I know there's a lot of problem with the network, but we're still good. With Facebook, I know people are still with us on the Facebook, but continue to share the page as well. We're also following, if you've got any comment that you might want to send to us as well. Let's start taking some of the questions, you know, that we've already prepared for some of the executive of the party. I know Mr. You know, Dan Bolaji, the chairman, have already given us a little bit of background of the party itself, but a particular woman was actually detained, you know, for non-payment of hospital bill, both the woman and the newborn baby. So what plan has Welfare Party of Nigeria have, you know, for the women and the children?
Thank you, Mr. Koiki. Actually, Our welfare party has gone into action and swinging into action about women and children in particular. Because while we were growing, you know, we were made to believe that women, they are always...
It's okay. That's part of the, you know, the problem in the country. There's nothing we can do to that.
Also, women in the community, at home, you cannot, you know, just relegate them to the background. Women have so much to do at home, and they need not just being a housewife or a mother or a wife. They need security, they need love. When all these are put in place, you will see women functioning and functioning well. Yes. Come to think of women and their children. When women or a woman has her head glued to her neck and she knows precisely what she's doing, she's being loved at home, you know, and she's given the chance and opportunity to raise up her children, you will see that there are discipline, you know, not brutalizing, you know, whereby these days you will see women being brutalized and, you know, giving them emotional, physical abuse at home. When that happens, a woman cannot function well. It takes the grace of God for that woman to function and to function well.
Okay. Indicates welfare. The manifesto is welfare oriented. The manifesto is welfare centered. The manifesto is welfare oriented. All we have got and which we are planning to deliver come 2019 are basically those aspects that have to do with the welfare of the people. And one of such is affordable housing. We are going to put in every possible itinerary, every possible machinery in place to ensure that the housing system in Nigeria is affordable by an average man. Let me chip in. There was sometimes years ago where a very popular actor, I won't mention the name, got himself displaced and have to live at this Ojuelegba under bridge. It's really a pathetic story. But this time around, we, Welfare Party of Nigeria, want to make sure that an average man find himself a comfortable housing to live. I was at Abuja some times ago, and at the popular Abuja garage there, over the night, because the bus I entered got very late to Abuja. We got to Abuja around 2-3 a.m. The pathetic story was most of Nigerians were found sleeping outside in that garage. And unfortunately that day it rained. I felt so bad within me. And these are some of the things all these other big political parties should have taken care of. But lo and behold, they are not doing that. This is one of the major areas that Welfare Party of Nigeria is going to take care of. Housing. And we are going to do it in such a way that it's going to, if by the time we are able to construct all these houses, we have a project, we are starting from Akwa Ibom by the grace of God. We have acres of land that we have on ground, which we are going to start to test run. And by the time we are able to get that, what we'll do is we'll spread it for every Nigerian that apply, just like the case of STARR those days. We are going to give them out to them, and we'll spread it over 10 years. The moment you become an allotee, you become a landowner of that property, just know it's your property. But what you'll be doing is you might be paying every month, and that will be at a very reasonable rate. And those are some of the strategies you are planning concerning housing facility. Now let's talk about education. We all know that Nigeria today, our government can afford to provide free education in Nigeria. Unfortunately, we are deviating from such. the budget Nigeria government has today is so minimal, just a peanut or 7%. And compared to our neighboring country, Ghana, the budget for education in Ghana is about 32% out of their total budget. But in Nigeria here, our own is just 7%. And that is why we are having problem of educational standard dropping every day. By the grace of God, Welfare Party of Nigeria, we bring in a system of free education from primary level to the secondary level. And by the grace of God, even at the tertiary level, is going to be subsidized. The bedrock of any developing nation is the education. And why we are having such problem in the country today is because we are not taking care of our educational system. So these are some of the things we are going to enforce, we are going to bring or implement. That's free education, possibly from our primary to secondary. And we subsidize the university education. Now let's talk about the medical. That's our third key manifesto. Like the question you raised earlier, it's really a pathetic story in Nigeria here. Some time ago, I was at a general hospital in Lagos here, and the patients there, they have to give them lists of the medicine they have to go and buy. Sometimes ago, our first lady too complained that even at Aso Rock, the government hospital over there has no medicine. So all these, we are going to bring in update facilities.
Okay, let me hold you on there just for a few minutes. For those that are watching us on Facebook, this is just the reality of what happens, in a country that there's a lot of opportunity, and you'll be amazed that electricity where you're enjoying it all over the world is not the same thing that you see on a day-to-day in Nigeria. But I've just got with me now, joining us is Honorable Adeyeye Abazs. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Hello. Okay, I'm sure you might have to put your voice up a little bit so that we can get you as much as possible. Can you listen to us? Can you get us? Okay, all right. Thank you very much for joining us on this very special edition on Naija Voices, coming live to you all the way from Lagos. My question going to you, because I know we're expecting you to be one of the the contestants, the aspirant, for the upcoming election in Osun State by the time come 2018. What I want to find out from you as a candidate that we hope to be putting in place, if the party, Osun State election is next year, September 2018. What effort is the party making to be presenting as one of the parties that will contest for the governorship election in Osun State? Yeah, we can hear you, but you might have to put your voice up a little bit. Remember, it's a long distance call as well. So if you raise your voice as much as possible, we've got people listening to us on Facebook, and also we have all the listeners that are listening to us on the Naija Voices through tuning on STARR Radio, your finest Afro-Caribbean radio station. Okay, it looks like the sound is not very clear, and because it's going through a very long distance as well. So maybe we might have to bring Mr. Honorable Adeyeye at one point or the other later on, so that we can have those that are still sitting there with us to give us, because there's still a lot of questions that I have. And also for those that are watching us on Facebook, I know we have a lot of people that are logged in and are following, the conversation. You can also send in your comment. We're monitoring that on another device here. Let me speak to, Honorable Stanley, Ezekiel. What is the level of the party preparedness towards the 2019? We know the election is just less than 500 days away. From January next year, we're going to see a lot of activities, within all the political parties. How prepared are you, speaking to the masses, the Nigerians, from the rural to the city?
Yeah, I want to appreciate you for this question that you just presented. I want to tell Nigerians that Welfare Party of Nigeria is prepared to make sure that things are well placed in this nation. We have our structures on ground, and we have already covered up to 27 states, and in a short time from now, I think we are going to reach out to every state, the 36 states of Nigeria. Yes, and I want Nigerians to know that they just have to be rest assured that Welfare Party is going to deliver come 2019, because a lot of parties have failed Nigerians, and Nigerians are not really happy about this. And come 2019, when we get to power, we're going to fix Nigeria the way it ought to be. And you see, like what my colleague just said a few minutes ago, you see a lot of things has been bastardized in this nation, okay, which we are trying to come up as Welfare Party to fix up all the things that have been spoiled by the leading parties. Okay, Nigerians are not really happy with what is going on here in Nigeria. We have all the mineral resources, we have everything to make Nigeria a great nation, but when you look at the present situation of Nigeria, things are not really working. That is where Welfare Party of Nigeria is coming in to fix up things so that Nigeria will be happy. Nigerians will be happy again. Thank you.
Okay, let me go back straight to Mrs. Helen. Are you fully involving Nigerians in the diaspora, or only Nigerians that are at home, to contest towards this, 2019 election? Because we know a lot of the diaspora want to engage. How are you trying to involve those at home and those outside the country as well?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Oyeleke. We're actually doing all we can to involve those people in the diaspora. And we have representatives in the diaspora, not only in London, UK, America, Germany, we have people all over there.
Okay.
And they are going to outreach those people in the diaspora.
Okay.
So we are working hard and we are making progress.
Okay.
It might look slow at the moment, but it is steady. And God being on our side, by the name of the party, welfare. When we say welfare, it must be total welfare. You have to feel, you have to look out and make sure that those people who are in need are being outreached. Not just sitting down in the office. Take for example, medical.
Yeah.
I was in General Hospital, Lagos. I've been to so many hospitals to see what is lacking. I can write a volume about General Hospital Odo in Lagos, Island Maternity in Lagos, Broad Street. I mean, those Island maternity in particular, I think they should blow up that place and rebuild it. Nigeria is wealthy. Nigeria is not in the list of poor country at all, and I don't think it can ever be. If only we get our priorities right.
Okay.
You see, how women in labor, screaming, sweating. I commend those who were on duty that day, because fear is fear. How can you work without a break? Nurses, doctors on duty that time, they did what Napoleon. When I saw it, I asked them, when are you going on break? They said, break? They look at me and say, where are you coming from? Break. In the labor ward, I could see women using their wrapper as bed sheets. In Nigeria of today, where we have oil and some people, and I was asking the question, where is the Minister of Health? Where is the Commissioner of Health? Where are they? What are they doing? It bleeds my heart to see that people, even at A&E, a lady was admitted into the hospital, and this lady with drips on her, she wanted to go to the loo. They just pointed. I was watching, and the lady got up. She staggered. I quickly jumped up and I said, excuse me, you have to look at, if this lady drop, you'll all be in trouble. So this is welfare. When you have the people's feelings at heart, that is welfare. Not just sitting down there, okay, what are our Minister of Health, Commissioner of Health, what are they doing? When welfare comes on board, they will see the difference. Okay. Because you have capable hands. I went to Lut, I went to Ifako, General Hospital. Oh my word. If you don't, you pay for this, you pay for that, they could ask you, you could be running up and down. You could be running up and down 10 times for one, I mean.
Wow. Wow, that is amazing. Once again, we're still live all the way from Lagos on Naija Voices, coming live to you on STARR Radio UK. We'd also like to appreciate, the production team, working extremely hard on the other side to make sure that, those that are listening and also following us on all the social media platforms. And we'd also like to say a big thank you to those that have already logged in all the way from Facebook as well. You raised some points there.
Yes.
And I mentioned it was in the Punch newspaper. I didn't write that story. The story was there. And I mean, that a particular patient was detained with a baby for non-payment.
Yes.
What more do you think, we should be doing to reform, the whole system of the health care?
Yes. If those people in authority, if they are doing their job as it should be done, at least they voted money for those areas in a year. What are they doing? What have they done with the money? You see? And apart from even hospital, the wickedness in human being, in people working in this country, it is heart bleeding. I was in a registry in Ifako, but 2 weeks ago. Here was a blind man who was getting married, and they detained them for not bringing carton of biscuits, carton of drinks, carton of, bottles of wine. I say, are they holding party? They say, no, that is how they get it from people getting. And unfortunately, my heart bleeds that day. Unfortunately, these guys, they haven't got enough money to buy all those what they asked them to buy. So they say this is what they can afford. They said they are not going to wait them until when they bring carton of this, carton of that. In a welfare state, that will never happen.
Wow.
That will never happen. And as it were, that rubbish and nonsense like that must stop. It is a must. The government requirement is the certificates money that you pay the government, but bringing carton of biscuit in Ifak or local government.
Well, and that is Nigeria of 2017.
This was 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
I was there.
Oh, this is amazing.
Because I went to support that, couple.
Okay, let's go back to you, Mr. Bolaji Oyeleke. We've had a lot of, things that have been said on ground here, but let's now look at the reality of it, because it's easier said than done. A lot of all the political parties, and not just the one that is in power now, but we're talking about 57 years of our anniversary, which took place in October 1st, where everyone was jubilating and celebrating. But 57 years until you go around the whole of the country, the big question mark is, are we there yet? My question to you now is, do you have the plan to transform the economy of Nigeria? And how do you intend to do that at this Welfare Party of Nigeria? I repeat that again. Do you have the plan? And I want you to take your time and explain to all the listeners and those that are watching us on Facebook as well.
Well, thank you very, very much. It's a wonderful question, and that requires a very specific set of answers. I want to start by saying that Nigeria missed it, I think, around early 70s. Initially, we were getting it right during the era of late Sage, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, people like Chief Nnamdi Azikiwe, and our great leader, Ahmadu Bello. These are the three great men that Nigeria will forever miss in Nigeria. I want to say, in the early 60s, we also have people like General Yakubu Gowon. These are the people that have visions, that have plans for Nigeria. And the plan that they have on ground, today we have deviated from such. Let me give us one of such plans, economic plans, that these our leaders put down. I want to call it a kind of pathways, but we missed it. One of it is agriculture. Nigeria started very, very well in the area of agriculture. And when we talk about agriculture, we know crude oil is one of it. But it got to a point that we stopped other aspects, other areas that are agriculture related. We only concentrate only on oil. I know there's a time that we have this pyramid, cocoa pyramid, all over the northern states. But today, do you have any cocoa pyramid? No more cocoa pyramid. I remember in the southwest, when we talk about palm produce, talk about the Edo state of today, those days it used to be called Bende State. We have a lot of this. So Nigeria should be expecting Welfare Party of Nigeria to transform the economy by going back to our agricultural system. We have a lot of natural resources that we have not tapped to. If you get to Kogi State today, there are a lot of this granite stone that is there wasting away. These are some of the things that Nigeria we used to, make use of in those days. And that's why we were the giant of Africa then, but today we are no longer a giant of Africa. In fact, I would say maybe Nigeria is more or less one of the dwarfs of Africa. So agriculture is going to be one of the areas that Welfare Party is going to concentrate on. And secondly, we are going to revamp our industries. We have textile industries. We have most of this.
It's amazing when you just say that the textile industries. I was in Abeokuta just about 3 weeks ago, to meet some young, vibrant Nigerians doing the Adeyeye.
Yes.
And they have to travel down to Aba to buy the imported textiles to make their own Adeyeye.
Imagine.
I'll let you go on that, because that is a very, very big industry, because every one of us must put something on.
Of course.
So I want you to continue on that.
On the aspect of the textile industry, you are very correct. we have those days, we have these big industries in textile, like Aswani, MP Industries, and so on. But where are they today? You go to their industries, they sold out. They are just nothing to show for. And those are the areas welfare party feel. Because when we talk about welfare, clothing is one of the welfare. You can imagine Nigerians walking about the streets of Nigeria, tattered and buying all these, I'm sorry to say, these second-handed materials from abroad, when here in Nigeria we have what it takes. Another area is our footwear. Go to Benin in Edo State, where we can tap natural rubber. I've been in this industry and I know what it takes. This natural rubber, I know what it takes. But today, our plastic industry is nothing to write about. Most of the ones that are existing today, they are, importing these synthetic raw materials, which, we are talking about this foreign exchange. Foreign exchange has really destroyed the industry. So these are some of the areas: the textile industry, plastic industry, even our area of the food. We're talking about food. Yes. This is one of the important areas that we are going to encourage people to go into food production, cash crop production, and so on. Look, let's not forget that even this area of, providing food crops is an industry in its own. Because when you look at this, the structure of economy, talking about agricultural industry is the primary aspect of production. Before we begin to talk about having all this tertiary production and so on. So industry is one of the areas that welfare party will have our strategy on ground. And God helping us, when we get there, we are going to change this. We are going to apply the simple ABC economy theory. We are not going to begin to, deceive people.
Just last week, the government is trying to speak to some economic expert from Malaysia.
That is exactly where I'm going to. Can you imagine, in Nigeria today, somebody now pointed out to me that, look, in the early 60s, this Malaysian government were employing Nigerians to run their economy for them. But today, our own government is now employing Malaysians to come and run our own government for us. I'm an economist by profession. And when I look at the economic structure of Nigeria, in fact, we have a lot of professors of economics in Nigeria. We have a lot of, engineers, director of business, even in diaspora. Look at United States of America, for example, today. Is it one, either 2, 3, or even 4 of them? They are in Trump's cabinet, yes. Nigerians, helping him to run his economy. And here, we don't have all these people. We are now going to bring Malaysians to come and run our economy. We will not go into that. We have capable hands, we have qualified hands, and those are the areas we are going to. Another area again is, in a nutshell, is we are going to invite investors. We need people to come and invest. Good. When we invest, they will bring their own foreign exchange here, and that will give room for employment of all unemployed Nigerians. Thank you so very much.
Okay, let's speak to Mr. Stanley again. And we know one of the biggest problems. During my interview, which is already on Facebook yesterday, I was looking at the house prices in the axis of Alimosho here, and they were going from a room from 3,000 naira to 3,500. How will Welfare Party of Nigeria provide a practicable, affordable housing for the masses and average income earners? I know the chairman was talking about it, but we're not looking at a particular state now. We're talking about generally. And when we're talking about generally, we're talking about someone that is just an Okada rider, to be able to have a pleasant place to call home after working 14-hour shift.
Thank you once again. As soon as Welfare Party of Nigeria comes to power, we are going to structure an affordable system that will accommodate everyone in Nigeria to have a suitable home. We are busy discussing with some investors that are ready to come in. As soon as we get to power, I think all these things will be put in place. So Nigerians will have affordable homes where they can, go in and relax after the day work. Okay, so I think Welfare Party is capable. So there's no shaking, no going back at all.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
those that are following us, before we, I'll let you come in. If you've got any questions that you might want us to put through to them, like I said, we're following the development also on Facebook, and you could send us your comment, and we'll be able to read that to the executive that are sitting right here. Also, let me, before coming back to you, because there's the health sector, I really want us to touch more, because that is one area that is really, medical is one of the most expensive. And if the rich are still traveling out of the country, what about the poor that are struggling? How will people know more about you? Where can they find Welfare Party of Nigeria? Okay, I've been told now that we have back again with us Honorable Adeyeye. Hello, good evening. Okay, it looks like we've got a better and a clear line now from the one that you were calling us prior to, before we took it off. You were giving us a background, on the preparedness of the upcoming 2018 election in Osun State, if I'm right. Could you just give us, a kind of background, Osun State election, which is next year, 2018. What effort is the party making to be presented as one of the parties that will contest for the governorship election? We saw what took place in Anambra over the weekend, so that indicates that Obiano won that election with 21 local government. What is the expectation, of the party presenting a candidate come 2018 in September?
Thank you very much. Let me say that people are getting more informed about their rights and expectations as regards the election and government. Okay. In the case of Osun State, the state happens to be one of the most informed people in Nigeria as regards electioneering. So, gathering of people's choice is not really an option in the truth. And as of today, I think I can say practically that people are well prepared when it comes to standing for the world today. Okay. The current situation in the government in the state has actually pushed people to get a better option. And the only better option in Osun State right now happens to be the Welfare Party of Nigeria.
Okay. Okay, let me also take you, because while you're on the line with us now, quickly let me take you to another question, and that will be free education as one of the party manifesto. How will the party implement these? We know education is the bedrock of any economy. I was listening to just a couple of weeks, some commentators, how South Korea has transformed that country with education. We saw recently, the situation in Kaduna where the El Rufai, with the teachers, about 21,000 of them. And we all know that it's all got to do with education, the preparedness. So the question is, how prepared, will the party be able to implement, a free education as one of the party manifesto?
Thank you very much. First, I would like to clarify that what we have had in the past have always been up when it comes to education, free education.
Okay.
We scan our ground credit in the European Welfare Party of Nigeria when it comes to this particular manifesto. Because education has been earlier developed. And what we are doing differently is that first we want to ensure we give the people free, compulsory, quality, and productive education. That's only what we can have in the country that can project us to where we ought to be.
Okay.
We had a lot of graduates, so as we all know what it is when we talk about having people, just producing people with papers, and we are producing professionals.
Okay. Let me take.
We tend to do differently with ensuring that we all have what quality training in education system is all about.
Okay, well, just hold on there, don't go yet. We're still live on the STARR Radio UK, your finest Afro-Caribbean. To you on a very special edition, from Lagos. We've had a bit of, network, electricity. These are just some of the issues that someone faces on a day-to-day if you're living in Nigeria. It shouldn't be so in 2017. I was following, the icon himself, Chidele Mamadou. He was in Dubai. I don't know whether he's actually left because I follow him on Instagram. And he was showing us a beautiful city of Dubai. When are we going to see something of Dubai in Nigeria? In next year, 2 years' time, when do you think, we could see a Dubai in Nigeria?
Thank you, Mr. Koiki. I think to see a Dubai replica in Nigeria, it can be done. It is possible. I could remember when I followed this Sahara girl, when she was talking, and she showed hospitals outside Nigeria and hospitals in Nigeria. We can do it in Nigeria. And like I've said, at least there is a research that Nigeria is not a poor country. It's just mismanagement and selfishness.
Resources.
Mismanagement of resources and selfishness. If not, I can't see anybody going to hospital and not being attended to because they cannot afford to pay medical bill. And not that Nigeria is poor. Nigeria is not a poor country. If the, like PM said sometimes in UK, that if the amount of money stolen in Nigeria, if that is done in UK, they will wipe off UK from the world map. Can you imagine that? It is hard. This, in fact, people in government, they should close their eyes in shame. Instead of, look at Pope Francis was given Lamborghini.
I saw that, yes.
He blessed it and said they should go and sell it and give the money to the poor, to the charity. We are not doing anything charity in Nigeria at all. We are not. And when we say charity, it begins at home. And that is welfare. When there is charity, that is welfare. Wow. Not doing charity and enriching your pocket. Like when some people say, oh, Mama, I want to join your charity. I said, listen, I'm not being funded home and abroad. Go and research me. I'm not being funded. I'm using my little resources to do whatever I can do to help humanity. At the end of the day, it's all 6 feet. Yes. 6 feet lower.
Wow. Let us take the last question before we let Mr. Adeyeye Abazs leaves. My last question to you. Are you still with us there, sir? Okay. The present statistics show that Nigeria budgets only 7% for education, as compared with Ghana of 34%. Has low educational budget not been affecting the education standard in Nigeria? What solution will welfare part of Nigeria apply to transform the education system? And that will be your last question before we let you go, because as much as we want to be here for the whole day, because this is something that we cannot complete in one day. But I'll let you answer that, and then if you have one or two things to say, I will let you go.
Thank you very much. I would like to share education that Nigeria has. We have been, over the years, there have always been progress. There have always been progress, and we want to believe that we want to put our hands on the country. The true replica of what education means to the country. And it's not This is I think it's a two-way process. The budgetary allocation is low, the budgetary allocation is not being implemented. So it's two ways. As far as we are concerned with the western part of Nigeria, the most important and focused thing for us is to ensure that all budget allocations conform to the UNESCO resolution on education funding. We all need to also agree on basic education from where it is today to where it ought to be other advanced nations.
Wow.
So, when we talk about education system, it was funded without anybody in the house crying. We all are, we are all enjoying the freedom today. Professors in the same system who are projected to 7%, they all are all figures of our level. So what we are saying is that if free education, if our budget that has been shifted to the way it is today, to which the different causes of God, we are demonstrating that we do this differently and ensure that we are conducting summer seriously.
Wow. Thank you very much, Mr. Adeyeye. We will let you go. Your last word before I cut off the phone from your side there, because we know our timing is running now as well. Your last word to the Nigerians that are listening on Star Radio UK and those that are also watching on Facebook. Your last word.
Thank you very much. My chairman, National Chairman, I really appreciate about WSP. We are reducing everything to make sure that we run through everything to our people come to them that are open. I want everyone to understand and to do the PPN, the Department of Nigeria have done to stay as a solution to the common man on the street.
Thank you very much. That's it. We've had his last word there. Welfare Party, WPN, for the masses. Let me take from you before we come this way, and then we will finish with the chairman himself. I still want to go back on the medical.
Yeah.
How can we improve, or what will be the strategy to get it going? We know the NHS have been providing free medical to the citizen of United Kingdom for the last 50 years. And we know we have that same resources to be able to do almost exactly the same. How can we improve on that?
Thank you, Mr. Koiki. We can improve on medical, provided those people who have the heart of gold, who can, or maybe those people who have slept and God overhauled their hearts to come out alive and help. When you are put there, okay, as a medical prime minister or minister, a commissioner of health, what are you just sitting down in the office? Have you been going around to ask them what do they need on the ward? So if you are not just in your office, you are going around, what they need, they will put down on paper and you work on it. Because they vote money every year for all this. General Hospital, Island Maternity Hospital in Lagos, or no. That Island Maternity in particular, they need to blow it up. I'm saying it and I'm saying it with anger. That they need to blow that place up and build a new Island Maternity. Lut, same thing. I went there. I went out, if I call General Hospital, I was there. The hand gloves they were using, and they were taking blood sample. Oh, Lord of mercy.
I was listening to the Human Rights Radio, Berekete family, just 2 days ago, and a young guy was stabbed, and the kidney was out, and it's been out for more than 8 months because of he didn't have the fund to be able to get the proper treatment. But we could say that, through that Human Rights Radio, 320,000 naira was raised that particular day, and I'm sure they've taken it up now. Your last word to the listeners and those that are watching us on Facebook before we move to Mr. Stanley, and we let the chairman give us, his last, question that we'll be asking him. But your last word, man.
Yes, I want to thank you, viewers, home and abroad, that please, if you have anything in mind to do for this great nation of ours, Nigeria, please come home and let's work together for the sake of humanity, and it shall be well with every one of us. Nigerians in Nigeria, they are suffering. People are suffering. People have turned to beggars, and it shouldn't be. So please, Nigeria in the diaspora, if you have anything to contribute to this great nation, please come home and let us all do it together. Wow. Thank you.
I will remember that quote for a very long time. Come home and let's work together. The Israelis do the same thing. Yes. The Indians do the same thing. Yes. So if you are sitting down there, commenting only on Facebook, watching all the pictures, that won't solve the problem. But come home and let's work together. Thank you very much, Mama B, for giving us your last word. Mr. Stanley, tell us your last word before the show comes to an end, and your message, to the Nigerians and non-Nigerians that are looking at the, I see a lot of expatriates in the country, and I feel there must be something in here for them.
Yes, thank you very much. At this point, I want to say that all Nigerians, home and abroad, should make sure they get their voters' card, they get prepared for the coming election, so that when it is time for them to vote, they make sure they vote Welfare Party of Nigeria, and Welfare Party of Nigeria is going to make them proud. And I want to tell all Nigerians that Welfare Party is not going to let them down. So let them be rest assured that we are going to deliver come 2019.
Well, you've said it very well. Again, all Nigerians, home and abroad, have their voters card ready. You cannot use Facebook to make the voting. You cannot use Twitter to make the voting. So you must make sure you have your voters card ready, like the Anambra did.
I'm mobilized for Welfare Party of Nigeria.
That's it. The chairman of the party himself, where the big, you carry most of the weight of the party, and a lot of people are looking out to you to deliver not just the party now. We're talking about Nigerians, home and abroad. What will be your last message?
Well, thank you so very much. It has been a wonderful moment in the last 1 hour plus, especially you coming down to Nigeria all the way from UK. It shows that you really have the love of the country at heart. I want to thank you. I want to thank your organization, and I want to say a very big thank you to STARR Radio UK. This is probably the second time that you will be presenting us to the entire world. What I want to pass across is this. I want to say, by the grace of God, everybody all over the country, both home and even in diaspora, they are waiting for the third party. The news going about is that there are only 2 major parties in Nigeria, and they are expecting the third party that will change the entire scenario. I want to tell everybody, both home and abroad, that Welfare Party of Nigeria is that third party we are waiting for. And by the time we come on stream, by the time we come alive, let me tell us once again, these are the basic things, and we are going to be practical about it. We are not going to come out for any selfish motive. We are not going to come out for any ulterior motive, but rather we are coming out because we have been feeling the pains of the Nigerian masses, and we are going to touch people's life through their medical facilities. We are going to touch people's life through affordable housing. We are going to touch people's life through free education. And we are going to touch people's life through transformation of the economy. Our industries are going to be revived. And I want to say to our people, wonderful Nigerians in diaspora, please don't leave us here, those of us that are here in Nigeria, don't leave us alone. We need your support. We need you to come around and be part of us. Let us do it together. Like we said earlier on, look at the Israelites. The people of Israel, they went to and they come together to change the Israel economy. Look at even Pakistan. Go to Botswana today. Botswana is doing very well. We want Nigeria to gain back its old glory. And in a nutshell, what I want to say to every Nigerian, Welfare Party of Nigeria is that party. Just let that name ring. Let that name be an household name. The word there is welfare. The party there is Welfare Party of Nigeria. God bless you. And once again, I want to thank you for this wonderful moment. To the organization of STARR Radio UK, God bless you all. And to Nigerians out there, we are expecting you come 2019. The party that will deliver what you want. The political dividend in Nigeria is Welfare Party of Nigeria.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and we'll be coming now to the end of this special edition on Naija Voices, coming live to you all the way from Lagos. We'd like to say once again, thank you to all the 3 executives that have joined us, and also all the staff that are working behind the scene as well, making sure that we can come live to you. And we hope we'll be following the movement, and we will hope that come 2019, the party, will be representing, millions of Nigeria all over the world, not just in Nigeria alone. And also we'd like to say a big thank you to everyone that have watched us on Facebook, and we want to say from this end, Odaro. But we'll be back again on another edition, another episode of Naija Voices. Stay tuned. We will be in Onitsha next week, and we hope to project more of what is happening in the eastern part of the country, where we're still going to be in Nigeria for a very long time. Once again from me, it's Odaro. My name again is Olayomi Koiki, coming all the way to you with a very beautiful executive of Welfare Party of Nigeria. I would like to say a massive big thank you for allowing us, into your home and present, this very special edition. And we hope to be back again very soon again. Thank you very much.